Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is going to be another really nice energetic design video where I'm going to teach you some basic concepts on Feng Shui and how bringing this concept into your home, especially in this part of the year where it's the new year and also the weather outside is a little bit cold and maybe sometimes dark, so it's nice to bring in good energy into your home, and I'm going to give you a couple great ways to do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun today, guys, so let's get started. Today's video is going to be all about Feng Shui. And Feng Shui is a really interesting concept, and it goes way beyond design of a home. But in this video, we're going to focus solely on what this can mean for your home and how we can bring comfort to your home. Now, some of the principles of that is essentially how we can attract good qi energy into our environment. And now, energy is the thing that's the vitality of every living thing, and it's really something that you can feel when you go into a room. Imagine when you walk into a space and maybe it's really chaotic or it's maybe a little bit dark and something to you just feels off. It doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel warm. That feeling that you get is your body's ability to perceive the energy of the room. And so this is why this concept is so important. Now, on the opposite side of that spectrum, imagine you just walked into a space and it's warm, it's calm, it's inviting, it just feels good. You know, maybe you go to someone else's home and you don't know why, but you think it's a really comfortable home. It just feels good. Well, there's something behind that, okay? So there's probably a very good energy in the home. And so there's ways that you can do this as bringing in good design. There's ways that you can do this by being conscientious of what you have in the home. And this is another video I can do for you guys if you're interested on certain items that can change the energy of your home. Maybe you like this topic, I can go into that in another video. And also, it can be highly dependent on the person that you are, the people that are in the home. You know, whether or not you're a calm and relaxed individual or maybe a little bit more high energy, these things are going to be mirrored in your surroundings. And so if you want to create a nice home this new year and you really want a fresh start, this is going to be a great way to implement these tips to make sure you have a harmonious start, going to have a prosperous year, and we're just going to have a great new beginning. So tip number one, and this is a big one in Feng Shui, is declutter. So I have a couple of videos on this, and this is why you'll see in the new year I always do kind of organizational videos and Feng Shui videos at the same time, because this is actually one of the biggest principles of Feng Shui. And so having that visual clutter is a really big no-no. This is a big killer of energy, and you know this for yourself. When you're in an environment that's very messy, it's hard for you to think, it's hard for you to focus, and the moment you clean it up, it feels peaceful again. That's what you need to think about when you're looking around your home. Try to keep dead space so that not every shelf needs to be filled to the brim. Also, this means in your drawers and in your closets. And so this is going to signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. If all of your drawers and all of your closets are completely full, then you're basically signaling, I'm completely abundant, I can't handle any more stuff. So what you need to do is go through all of your things and just start to weed out and just thank those items for how they've served you and let go of things, okay? And so you can do this one room at a time. You can do this one drawer at a time, especially if you're a busy mom like me, you know, just tackling one drawer and how that feels. Honestly, it's so funny because it feels amazing just even getting one junk drawer cleaned out in the day, and it just can really turn the energy around in the room. And so big areas I would focus on would be the kitchen. So keeping the kitchen very decluttered. I have quite a few videos if you'd like to see how I declutter a fridge, cabinets, pantry, all of those things you can reference if you'd like a little bit more detail on that. Another big one is to go through your closet and remove old clothing that's no longer you. Okay, so the old you. So only hold on to things that are the new you, things that make you feel good, things that make you look good. Get rid of all those things that are stagnant in your closets and make space for the new and prosperous you. And another big one is the main living area. So this is going to be also an area where there's going to be a lot of energy that can be stagnant just because there's so much living that's done in that space. So if you only have time to focus on a few areas, those are the 3 that I would focus on. And again, I have quite some videos that you can reference for that, so go ahead and check those out after this video. The second tip in Feng Shui, now that we have our home tidy and organized, we're going to go ahead and start to bring in life to the home. And so one of the good ways that you can do this is just bringing in greenery and plants into your house. This time of year, I really love to plant a new tree. We found this one at Costco. It's such a beautiful tree. It's just a really nice way to bring in good energy into your home. Get your hands in the soil and the dirt of the tree and just feel that grounding experience and connecting to the nature. And so especially if you're in an area where there's not a lot of nature outside and you don't get a chance to go outside that often, this is a great way to bring nature into your home and tend after your flowers. I love to keep flowers such as trees. I love to keep orchids in my home. This is a really beautiful plant. I have a pretty neat orchid hanger here that I can link to you that I got on Amazon that goes in your window that's really nice. I also think that lucky bamboo is a really good plant to bring into your home, especially in terms of Feng Shui, because this is a plant of harmony and peace and just good prosperity. And so this plant is really a good one, and it's actually quite low maintenance. And so this is something, if you just make sure you keep the soil moist, it's going to serve you well. And so get yourself a couple of bamboo plants and have a nice and prosperous year. And by the way, guys, I actually think that even though it's not exactly the same, some faux plants can give you a feeling as well of having that greenery in your home just from a visual aspect, but it's not the same as having real plants. So definitely do a mixture of both. I do a mixture of both in my house, both the faux arrangements and real arrangements, because the trees are going to give off an energy and they're going to clean your air in your home, and that symbiotic energetic relationship is just going to be very harmonious and inspiring in your house. One important concept, guys, is to make sure you remove dead trees, plants, and flowers. This is a really important step because this is a big way to kill any chi energy coming into your home. So anything dead must be removed. Okay, so now that we have a fresh home with fresh flowers, let's go ahead and step into the next design concept. One of the most important things when it comes to Feng Shui is making sure that the entrance of your home is prepared. And so what do I mean by prepared? Yes, that means to declutter it, but it means more than that. The entrance of your home is the way that energy is going to enter into your home. And so this makes it the most important aspect to keep tidy and well maintained. And so you want to make sure that your door is not sticking, that the door is beautiful in appearance and looks nice. It's better if you have a door that doesn't have clear windows on it, but this is obviously something you may not be able to change. But there's a lot of things about your entrance is very important. Bringing in the plant life around your entrance is also a great idea, because this is going to attract that positive chi energy into your home when you enter. Make sure you're removing your shoes, because you don't want to bring in that bad chi energy, that negative energy off the dirt and grime in your shoes and walk around your home with that and spread it around. Another thing that you'll see in the entryway of my home is I like to bring in a bubbling fountain. And so water is basically wealth and abundance. And so by putting that in the entrance of your home, you're signaling to the universe that you are open to wealth and abundance. And I prefer a bubbling fountain because this is just a nice way to really amplify that effect. Instead of having a fountain that kind of goes in one direction, this one is going to be abundant in all areas, in all directions, and it's continuously overflowing. It doesn't have a beginning and an end. And so this is a really nice fountain. I can link that one in the description for you. I got it on Amazon and I love it. I use it all the time. And a little quick tip, I actually put mine on one of those timer plugs, and then that way I can actually make sure it's turned on every single day, because sometimes things like this, you put them up and you don't turn them on. But this way I put it on a timer, it turns on automatically, and even if I forget and I want to turn it off, I can turn it off from my phone. So these plugs are really nice. Another thing about your entryway is making sure you have a landing site, and so that way it's a clear point of entry into your home. There's a lot of tips when it comes to setting up your entryway, and so you can actually check out a video that I have done specifically on the entrance of your home because it is so important. Recently, I even hung up a really beautiful large wind chime just off of the corner edge, so when you open the door that it could blow the wind around those beautiful wind chimes a little bit, and it's quite nice and also a really good thing in Feng Shui. And again, if you want some more details on that, go check out that video and it's going to get you a lot more in depth. Next to entryways, I think that the bedroom is another big area in Feng Shui that can be really important for promoting abundance and prosperity. And so I want to make sure that you guys are aware that I have a video on that as well, and to check that one out in detail. And so this is going to be important for bed position, and also keeping your bedroom decluttered and making sure to keep that space clear and free underneath of your bed so the air can circulate. And also, guys, the bed position, again, it cannot be underestimated in how important this is in Feng Shui and design. And so make sure you check that video out so that you don't miss out on those great tips. And lastly, I want to bring up the concept of the elements in Feng Shui. And so you guys will see a lot of times when I'm decorating that I use different elements. I talk about pairing them up. I talk about how I use things across the room to match, as well as, talking about decorating in threes and all of these things. But there's a reason that I use certain elements in my room, and I'm going to talk to you about that right now. And so there are 5 elements in Feng Shui. There are water, metal, earth, fire, and wood. And so when I decorate a room, you'll see that even if I mostly use neutrals and wood elements and natural elements, I actually also bring in a couple very specific and intentional items. So for example, water is actually also represented by black. So you'll see that I do a lot of accenting with black vases, and water is also symbolized by a round shape, circular lines. So I will also use these elements to bring in that nice water element into a room. The next one you'll see that I use is wood, and so I'll use wood vases, especially wood trays. I like to use wood risers, and these things always add such a beautiful element to the room. And I think that the interesting thing is that we subconsciously recognize that these elements are important for the design, because when you bring all these elements in together, it just feels cohesive. The next item is earth, and so you'll see another thing that I like to bring in are items of crystals and things like that are going to represent earth. You can also do earth with color if you don't like crystals or stones or rocks or things like that. But crystals and stones are such a beautiful thing to bring into your environment. They have such a wonderful vibration that has been provided for us to take advantage of enjoying in our homes and in our environment. And so they have a lot of great qualities. I would encourage you to bring in some beautiful crystals, especially if you're thinking about wealth and prosperity. Citrine is a great option. Selenite is a great option for cleansing the home and keeping the area free of energies from other people who are entering your home. Amethyst is a beautiful protective stone. Quartz is a beautiful amplifying stone. So there's many properties to these stones, and they have a really beautiful presence in any home, so I would encourage you to consider them when decorating. For the fire element, you frequently see that I bring in different candles throughout my rooms, and so I'll use flameless candles as well as regular candles, and even the color red is definitely a fire element, but I don't use red as a color as much when decorating, just because it's a very strong energy. So fire is a very, very strong energy, and it can actually be a little bit overpowering. And so I sometimes bring in small accents of red, maybe in a book, for example. I'll bring in some fresh, beautiful flowers into a room, fresh roses, for example, to bring in that red and that pop of red, just to kind of get that accent. But I don't frequently decorate with red, except for at Christmas time, of course, because you guys have seen my Christmas videos, but it is definitely a very powerful color. Just be careful when you're trying to create a serene space how much of the red you're using. And I focus more on using candles in my own space, and even your fireplace, for example, is a fire element, so I talked to you about using that electric insert in your fireplace. These are all things that would help you achieve that fire element. And lastly is metal. And so this is kind of an interesting one, because I think that not all people use metal all that often, but having metal accents in a home is really important and really good for prosperity. And so you'll see, even when I decorated my dining room video recently, I had mostly a palette of green and just creams and grays, a little bit of black accents in there, and then I popped in a couple of metal pieces. I had a beautiful gold candle accented by a gold lantern and a metallic gold decorative candle. And what does this does is it creates that full circle of all elements in the room. And so some of you might have been surprised, with that kind of tranquil and ambient environment, that I would bring in some metallic components. But the reality is that once I did, that completed that circle, and suddenly the space felt very complete. And so I usually put in a couple of metal pieces, spread them across the room so that they can link and that the eye can go from one to the other. And then by doing that, that's going to be a great way to create that flow throughout the room. Gold is a particularly good color in promoting wealth and abundance, as well as silver. Silver is a great color in doing the same. And so, guys, this is just a really broad overview of Feng Shui elements. There's a lot of detail in all of these different areas and aspects of Feng Shui that I could go into. I have a couple of videos already that you guys can check out that have a little bit more detail. It's a really interesting topic. I'm curious to hear what you think about it. And also, beyond Feng Shui, just the concept of what things in your home that can bring an energetic presence. If you guys are interested in a video like that, please let me know in the comments below, and I can get that out to you. And that would be a little bit more from my knowledge as a Reiki master, what things are energetically heavy, for example, in your home. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a video like that, and I can get that out to you. But I had so much fun today, guys, and I really hope that these principles help bring just a nice, harmonious, and prosperous year for you ahead. And so one last tip, guys, if you're seeing this video before February 10th, try to get your organizing done before February 10th, because that is the new year. And so you want to make sure that you got yourself set up and ready to receive good energy in a clean home on that New Year day on February 10th. So happy organizing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.